everyone, this is Akhilesh Kumar Bind, PGT English, Kendriya Vidyalaya, Tengravali. I hope you all will be fine. Friends, we have two pictures. Now look at these pictures and guess what would be the title of our topic. In the first image, what we see? Here is a rat, and what is this? And in the second picture, there is currency and one more thing. When we see these two pictures, we can say easily the title would be like that: right trap or the attractive thing, which attracts us, and when we are attracted, that time we are trapped. It's clear? The title of this topic is the right trap. It's clear? In this audio lesson, we will deal with our fourth topic of our Flamingo book, the right trap. It's clear? Now we know the title of this topic, that is the right trap, and this topic has been written by Selma Lagerlöf. Before going to deal with our topic, we have a brief description of the author. Here, Selma Lagerlöf. This is the image of the author. Her lifespan was from 20 November 1852 to 16 March 1940. She was a Swedish author and teacher also. She was the first female writer to win the Nobel Prize in Literature, and this is the greatest award in the field of literature. And her best remembered work is The Wonderful Adventures of Nils. This is her best work. It's clear? Friends, now we have chapter sketch. In brief, listen it carefully so that you will enjoy this topic too much. The right trap is based on the theme that the essential goodness in a human being can be awakened through understanding and love. The story is set amidst the iron mines of Sweden. The author has beautifully brought out human loneliness and the need to bond with others. Dear friends, we all know, if we treat any person lovingly, we can change that person's bad behavior also. What we have to do? We have to treat any person with love. If there is understanding and love, we can change the bad nature of human beings. And this very important point, you will see how the bad behavior, how the negative thinking of the main character of this topic has been changed by another character of this topic, that is Etla. Okay? And we should keep these good qualities in us, with us. Okay? And here the author, she has very beautifully brought out human loneliness. You will find how the peddler, who is the main character of this story, how he was, how he felt loneliness. He was alone. He had none. And here the writer also focuses that the need to bond with others. Don't leave any person alone. It's clear? This is very important point of this story. Now keep these things in your mind and you will find these things. It's clear? After chapter sketch, we have character sketch about the characters. Listen carefully. The first and main character of this story is Peddler. Okay, Peddler is poor. He was dishonest. He was thief, and he was also ungrateful in the first part of the story. Okay, so this is in brief about the main character of the story. His poverty is not metaphysical, but is symbolic of his moral weakness. He lacks strength to be morally upright. Okay, the character of Peddler represents this. He is symbolic of his moral weakness also. He lacks strength to be morally upright. Is clear? Now the second character of this story is the Iron Master. As we know, this story is set amidst in the atmosphere of iron mines. It's clear? He is rich, helpful, kind, loving father, but loses patience quickly. And this character is the representation of reflection of luxury because he was very rich. Now this third main character of this story, she is very important. That is Etla. She was the daughter of Iron Master. She was not pretty, but she was very kind. Shy nature, she was modest, compassionate. These are her qualities. Okay? And what is she? Here, she is symbolic of eternal beauty. What is that eternal beauty? The values are beautiful. Okay. But we people, what we do? We many times admire only physical appearance. What is physical beauty? We value that. But what are our values? That is very important. As kindness, modest, compassionate, goodness, like these qualities. It's clear? She acts as an redemptive force for the peddler. She changed the negative thinking of peddler. And what message she gives? Greed can only be overcome by love and kindness. Not only greed, but the bad nature. As we know, peddler was thief also. His nature she changed. How she changed? By love and kindness. And this is the main core of this topic, the right tribe. Okay? The crofter is the fourth character of this story, the right tribe. This crofter, he was a simple, trusting person who is robbed by the peddler. Dear friends, always remember, don't trust easily anyone. First of all, be friend, talk to that person, analyze, realize, understand his behavior, emotions, and after that trust in him. Otherwise, you will be deceived by people. This world is so cruel. That's why before going to trust in any person, first judge. First try to know about him, who he is, who she is, and so many things. After that, be friend. First of all, be friend, and after that, be close friend. Don't reveal your secrets easily to anyone. Don't trust any person easily. Okay, this person, the crofter, he believes the peddler very easily, and due to that reason he was robbed. It's clear? Dear friends, the rat trap is metaphor of luxuries. Now you can see here money are the beauty of the world. It's clear? Which attracts us and after that traps us. We know money can't buy these things. Number one, manners, morals, respect, character, common sense, trust, patience, class, integrity, and love. These things money can't buy. Always remember these things. These things can be developed within ourselves by behaving in a good manner. Dear friends, let's start our fourth topic of our Flamingo book, The Rat Trap by Selma Lagerlof. It's clear? I have already told you a brief description of the author and chapter sketch of this story, The Rat Trap. Now let's start our lesson. Once upon a time, there was a man who went around selling small rat traps of wire. He made them himself at odd moments from the material he got by begging in the stores or at the big farms. But even so, the business was not especially profitable. So he had to resort to both begging and petty thievery to keep body and soul together. Even so, his clothes were in rags, his cheeks were sunken, and hunger gleamed in his eyes. Here, the author tells us about a person, about a man who used to sell rat traps here and there made up of wire. And he himself made them. That was his business, that was his work. What was his work? Selling small rat traps of wire here and there. He made those rat traps himself at odd moments from the material he got by baking in the stores or at the big farms. From where he got the materials? From by begging in the stores or at the big farms. Is clear? But even so, the business was not especially profitable. Whatever rat traps he was selling, that was not profitable for him. That's why he had to resort to both begging and petty thievery to keep body and soul together. To survive in this world, he had to keep two things. One was begging. The first work was begging. What he used to beg? Wires and other things. And second work was petty thievery, small thievery, stealing food material, stealing wires, stealing some small things. Okay, so this was his work, two works. To keep body and soul together means to survive in this world. Even so, he was doing his work, that was his business. What was? Selling rat traps. And also he was a thief. He was a thief. But even so, his clothes were in rags. His condition was not so good. His cheeks were sunken and hunger gleamed in his eyes. He was always hungry. By doing two things, begging and thievery, he could not feed himself properly. It's clear? No one can imagine how sad and monotonous life can appear to such a vagabond who plods along the road left to his own meditations. But one day this man had fallen into a line of thought which really seemed to him entertaining. He had naturally been thinking of his rat traps when suddenly he was struck by the idea that the whole world is a big rat trap. It's clear? And B people know he was alone. In this story, the peddler was alone. Now B can imagine how sad and monotonous life can appear to such a vagabond. Vagabond means who has no home, who plots here and there, who takes shelter here and there under the tree or somewhere other places. Okay, who plots along the road left to his own meditations. Each and every time he was always in his own meditations. He was thinking something. But one day this man had fallen into a line of thought. One day what happened? When he was observing his rat traps, when he was thinking about his rat traps, suddenly an idea struck into his mind. And he said, he compared the world with his rat traps. Okay? In the very first para, the author says, one day when he was thinking about his rat traps, he compared the world with rat traps. What he said, now listen carefully and keep this in your mind also. He says, the whole world with its lands and seas, its cities and villages was nothing but a big rat trap. He compared the world with rat trap. What we put in rat trap? To trap rats. What we do? We keep something, some edible things. Okay, now listen, what was the reason, what was the common thing in the world and for the rat trap? Why did he compare? Now listen carefully. It had never existed for any other purpose than to set baits for people. Now listen here carefully. Baits. What is bait here? B attracts rats. B put cheese. B put some edible things in the rat trap. And when a mouse or a rat, when sees, then they get attracted. And when they come to eat to that bait, that eating edible things, eating material, that time they are trapped. In the same manner, in the world there is beauty of nature, beauty of people, beauty of cities, luxuries, seas, rivers. What are these things? These things only attract us, and when we are attracted, we are trapped. As for example, when we are attracted towards a person, then what happens with us? We lose our thinking power. We are unable to do toward other things, other good things. Sometimes we are trapped. Now think about your friendship. Sometimes we do this. We only chase that person. We forget our study even also. It's clear? So he says the world with its lands and seas, its cities and villages, these are nothing but a big rat trap. These things are a big rat trap, and the persons are get attracted and they are trapped. It's clear? As the rat trap offered cheese, what we put in the rat trap? We put cheese or some pork or some other edible things. Okay, and then as anyone let himself be tempted to touch the weight, it closed in on him. Okay, as soon as the rats or the mouse, they touch that cheese or pork or some other edible things, they are trapped. In the same manner, this happens with us also, and then when we are trapped, our life ends. It's clear? The world had, of course, never been very kind to him, so it gave him unwanted joy to think ill of it in this way. It became a cherished pastime of his during many dreary ploddings to think of people he knew who had let themselves be caught in the dangerous snare, and of others who were still circling around the bait. Okay, now the world had, of course, never been very kind to him. The peddler, the person was peddler. And what is peddler here? Peddler, a person who sells illegal things or stolen things. Okay, here he used to sell stolen things or other things. Okay, okay. So the world was never kind to him. That's why he began to think in a negative way, and that negativity used to give him unwanted joy. That's why he used to think in a negative way. It's clear? And this was his cherished pastime of his during many dreary means no profit. He was alone, he was getting no money. Okay, to think of people he knew who had let themselves be caught in the dangerous snare. He used to say, he used to thought about many persons who were in trap, who were in that trap, and of others who were still circling around the bait. And there were other some persons who were circling about the beauty, about the luxury of the world, and after that their life will be end. He used to think about these things. It's clear? One dark evening, as he was trudging along the road, he caught sight of a little grey cottage by the roadside, and he knocked on the door to ask shelter for the night. Nor was he refused. Instead of the sore faces which ordinarily met him, the owner, who was an old man without wife or child, was happy to get someone to talk to in his loneliness. Immediately he put the porridge pot on the fire and gave him supper. Then he carved off such a big slice from his tobacco roll that it was enough both for the stranger's pipe and his own. Finally he got out an old pack of cards and played Majolis with his guest until bedtime. Okay, one day what happened? One dark evening, as he was trudging, as he was walking along the road, he caught sight of a little grey cottage. Then what he found? He found a little grey cottage by the roadside, and he knocked on the door to ask shelter for the night. This was his habit. He used to plod here and there, he used to walk here and there, and many times he asked for shelter. This he did the same on that day also, but on that day not refused. First time he was not refused. Many times many people refused him whenever he asked shelter. Instead of the sore faces which ordinarily met him, the owner, who was an old man, but that old man, the owner of that cottage, who was without wife or child, he was very happy to get someone to talk to in his loneliness. Now listen carefully. Here, peddler, the person who sells rat traps, he was also alone. Now here another character who is crofter here. Okay, that owner of that grey cottage is crofter, and he was very happy because he was alone there without wife, without child. He was very happy to find, to get someone to talk to in his loneliness. That's why he allowed that person into his cottage, and he offered food for him, and he also offered tobacco for him, and both that person who was peddler and the crofter, owner of that cottage, they played Majolis game also until bedtime. It's clear? The old man was just as generous with his confidences as with his porridge and tobacco. The guest was informed at once that in his days of prosperity. His host had been a crofter at Ramseo Ironworks and had worked on the land. Now that he was no longer able to do day labor, it was his cow which supported him. Yes, that Bossy was extraordinary. She could give milk for the creamery every day, and last month he had received all of 30 kroner in payment. Okay, as I have already told you, when I was dealing with the characters, the crofter, he was a trusting person. Okay, as he was very generous, he allowed to stay in his cottage, and he offered food for him, that was for his, and he also offered tobacco. And the guest was informed that peddler here, who is the guest? This is the peddler who sells rat traps. He was informed at once. Suddenly he he believed in him, and that's why he revealed all his secrets. He says, when he was young, when he was man, that time he was very prosperous, and that time he was a crofter. Who is crofter? What is the meaning of crofter here? Crofter is a person who crops farm. Okay, he had a farm at Ramseo Ironworks and had worked on the land. On that land, he used to work. Now that he was no longer able to do day labor, that's why in his old age, he had a cow which supported his life. Yes, she was extraordinary. She could give milk for the creamery every day, and last month he had received all of 30 kroner in payment. And he also told him that last month he had received, by selling milk of his cow, he how much amount he got? That was 30 kroner. Okay, this is the currency. He got 30 kroner in payment after selling milk. It's clear? Now this that crofter should have not done, but he did. As I have already told you, don't believe in anyone at once. First of all, judge and try to know something about that person. After that, be close. Otherwise, you people also will be deceived by like crofter, and how he will be deceived and robbed, you will see later on. Okay. The stranger must have seemed incredulous. Okay, don't be incredulous. Don't believe easily in anyone. For the old man got up and went to the window, took down a leather pouch which hung on a nail in the very window frame, and picked out 3 wrinkled 10 kroner bills. These he held up before the eyes of his guest, nodding knowingly. And okay, now not only he told him everything about his 30 kroner, he also showed where that money was kept. Okay, now see, how was that old man, that was crofter? Is clear? Now see, that old man, that crofter, he only not informed about his money, about his 30 kroner. He also showed the place, the pouch, the leather pouch in which that money was kept. Okay, and that was beside window frame. Okay, now after showing that money in front of him, he once again then stuffed them back into the pouch. In front of him, he took out the money, he showed him, and again he stuffed those money back into the pouch in front of him. Then the next day, both men got up in good season. Good season means early in the morning. The crofter was in a hurry to milk his cow, and the other man probably thought he should not stay in bed when the head of the house had gotten up. They left the cottage at the same time. The crofter locked the door and put the key in his pocket. The man with the red stripes said goodbye and thank you, and thereupon each went his own way. Okay, and next day, early in the morning, both persons, that peddler and the crofter, they woke up early in the morning, and the crofter was in a hurry to milk his cow, and that peddler wanted to sleep more, but he could not sleep because the owner of that house was awakened. Okay, and then the crofter locked the door and put the key in his pocket. Then the man with the red trap said goodbye and thank you, and thereupon each went his own way. Okay, both persons left that cottage at the same time. It's clear? But half an hour later, the red trap peddler stood again before the door. But now see here, that old man, that crofter, allowed him to stay, to spend the night there. He also served him food. He behaved kindly. He showed kindness. But here, as we know, that peddler was thief also. That rat trap peddler stood again before the door. Once again, what is peddler here? Peddler is a person who sells illegal things, or you can say drugs or stolen things. It's clear? That person once again came back. Okay, he did not try to get in. However, he only went up to the window, smashed a pen, stuck in his hand and got hold of the pouch with the 30 kroner. He took the money and thrust it into his own pocket. Then he hung the leather pouch very carefully back in its place and went away. Okay, what that peddler did, he did not get into from the door, by the door. Okay, what he did, he smashed a pane of the window and he stuck in his hand and got hold of the pouch with the 30 kroner. He took that money, put into his pocket, and then he hung the leather pouch very carefully back in its place and went away. Now this happens as he walked along with his money. Okay, it's clear. Now from the character, from the role of crofter, you should always keep in your mind, don't believe in anyone so easily. First of all, know that person, judge that person, and after that be close friend of that person. Otherwise you will be also deceived by that person, like this peddler, how this peddler deceived that old man. Is clear? After taking money, after stealing the money, what happened? As he walked along with the money in his pocket, he felt quite pleased with his smartness. Now very smartly he took that money. He was very happy. He was walking, he was going. Okay, and with the money he was very happy. He was thinking how smart he was, how smartly he took that money. He realized, of course, that at first he dared not continue on the public highway but must turn off the road into the woods. But he had taken money, that's why he realized that was not safe by walking on public highway. That's why he changed his way and he turned towards the that path which led him into the woods. It's clear? Woods here, forest. During the first hours, this caused him no difficulty. He was walking through the woods, through the forest, but he walked 1 hour and that caused no difficulty for him. Later in the day, it became worse, but during daytime, that became worse for him. What was that? For it was a big and confusing forest which he had gotten into. Now he was in the forest and there was no way out of from that forest, and he was confused there. He tried to be sure to walk in a definite direction, but the path twisted back and forth so strangely. He walked and walked without coming to the end of the wood, and finally he realized that he had only been walking around in the same part of the forest. That forest was so confusing. He tried to walk in a different direction, but again and again he was coming at the same place. Okay? All at once he recalled his thoughts about the world and the rat trap, and when now see, earlier he was very happy. He was very happy at his smartness. And okay, when he was confused, when he could not find any way to get out from that forest, now he began to thought about his own thinking. What was his thinking? Now tell me. The thinking was the world is a big rat trap, and now that was his own turn. He was thinking about other persons who were trapped and about the other persons who were circling around the rat trap. Okay, and now this was his own turn. Now how that was his own turn? Remember that 30 kroner was bait for him. That 30 kroner was bait for him, and he was attracted towards that money, and he took that money. Now he was trapped into that forest. It's clear? Now you can say here, he thought about the world and the rat trap. Now his own turn had come. It's clear? There should be no doubt. He had let himself be fooled by a bait and had been caught. Now listen carefully. What was bait for him? That 30 kroner. And now where he was caught in the forest. The whole forest, with its trunks and branches, its thickness and fallen logs, closed in upon him like an impenetrable prison from which he could never escape. Now he imagined, now he thought that forest with its trunks, branches, thickest and fallen logs, that was like a rat trap, and now he was trapped in that forest, and from there he could never escape. Is clear? Dear friends, now the next phase of this topic, we know how the peddler was trapped in that forest. It's clear? It was late in December, the month of December, and we know this, that was winter season. Darkness was already descending over the forest. This increased the danger. He was in the forest. He was unable to find a direction from where he could come out of that forest. But due to month of December, due to winter season, the darkness was already descending over the forest, and that increased the danger and increased also his gloom and despair. Now he was very sad. He was disappointed that time. Finally, he saw no way out, and he sank down on the ground, tired to death. He was very tired. Then he sat on the ground, thinking that his last moment had come. He thought his last moment had come, but just as he laid his head on the ground, he heard a sound, heard a regular thumping. But as he laid his head on the ground, he heard what he heard, a regular thumping of something. Okay, noise. There was no doubt as to what that was. He raised himself. He realized that there was something very near. And in which direction, from which direction he heard the regular thumping, he now began to walk in that direction. He realized what was that? Those are the hammer strokes from an iron mill. He realized that thumping, regular thumping, that was the strokes of hammer. Okay, he thought there must be people nearby. He summoned all his strength, got up and staggered in the direction of the sound. Okay, he was very tired. He was unable to walk properly, but from which direction he heard the sound, he began to walk in that direction. It's clear? The Ramseo Iron Works. This was the mill. This was the iron mill where that crofter also worked. Okay, which are now closed down. Now, in present time, that Ramseo Iron Works has been closed. Is clear? Not so long ago, a large plant with smelter or a rolling mill and forge. In the summertime, long lines of heavy loaded barges and scows slide down the canal, which led to a large inland lake. And in the winter time, the roads near the mill were black from all the coal dust which sifted down from the big charcoal crates. Okay, so that time, before the closing of that mill was, there was a good production. Okay, now here load barges, long lines of heavily loaded barges and scows slide down the canal, and sometimes we see that goods and products have been carried with the help of small boats also. Okay, which led to a large inland lake. And in the winter time, the roads near the mill were black from all the coal dust. Okay, during winter time, all there was only black dust due to charcoal crates. Okay, so means to say here, earlier there was a good production from that Ramseo Iron Works. It's clear? During one of the long dark evenings just before Christmas, the master smith and his helper sat in the dark forge. Okay, now it's clear. Listen, now what is happening in that ironworks? This is the story, how that Ramseo Ironworks was. Now this is present situation of this story. During one of the long dark evenings just before Christmas, the master smith and his helper sat in the dark forge near the furnace waiting for the pig iron. Pig iron means not pure iron, which had been put in the fire to be ready to put on the anvil. Anvil means the furnace, anvil means the mouth on which we have to put something. Every now and then, one of them got up to stir the glowing mass with a long iron bar, turning in a few moments. Dripping with perspirations, though, as was the custom, he wore nothing but a long shirt and a pair of wooden shoes. Means to say, there was the master smith and his helper. They were stirring the fire and in the furnace and on the anvil. What they were doing, there was not pure iron. Means to say, they were melting iron. It's clear? They were in the process of making a pure iron. It's clear? All the time there were many sounds to be heard in the forge. The big bellows groaned and the burning coal cracked. The fireboy shoveled charcoal into the maw of the furnace. Okay, there were sounds also at the big bellows groan. Bellows means the pipe. Okay, pipe of air by which we put the air there. And the burning coal cracked. The fireboy shoveled, put charcoal into the maw means mouth of the furnace with a great deal of clatter. Outside road the waterfall. Okay, and outside of that mill there was waterfall, and a sharp north wind wiped the rain against the brick tile roof. Okay, and that time there was a light raining also. It's clear? It was probably on account of all this noise that the blacksmith did not notice that a man had opened the gate and entered the forge. because there were many noises and sounds. Due to that reason, the blacksmith could not notice that a man had opened the gate and entered the forge. He entered in there until he stood close up to the furnace, and that peddler came and he stood close to that furnace, and after that the blacksmith noticed there was someone. Surely it was nothing unusual for poor vagabonds without any better shelter for the night to be attracted to the forge by the glow of light which escaped through the sooty panes, and to come it to warm themselves in front of the furnace. And that blacksmith was accustomed of these things. Many times vagabonds like peddler used to come there to warm themselves. Okay, that's why there was no surprising fact for that blacksmith. Now we know that peddler, he came into the forge and he was warming himself by standing beside furnace, the fire. Okay, the blacksmith glanced only casually because he had seen many vagabonds like him. That's why he did not ask anything, only he glanced casually and indifferently at the intruder. Okay, he looked the way people of his type usually did, with a long beard, dirty, ragged, and with a bunch of rat traps dangling means hanging on his chest. Okay, he did not say, that blacksmith did not say, only he looked at him and he found and saw him how he was. Okay, he asked permission to stay, and the master blacksmith nodded a hearty consent. Okay, and after that, that peddler, he asked permission to stay there, and the master blacksmith nodded hearty consent without honoring him with a single word. Okay, suppose you people say someone to for something without warmly, without happiness, that he or she says anything, that time if anyone if anyone gives his or her consent happily, that time be become pleased. But that blacksmith did not say a single word, only he nodded. Okay, the tramp did not say anything even either. As what that peddler said, he asked permission, and when that blacksmith nodded and did not say a single word, after that the tramp means homeless or jobless, he also did not say anything either. He had not came there to talk but only to warm himself and sleep. And then that peddler, he was not happy about the behavior of blacksmith. Okay, but he realized, okay, no problem. He thought that might be his behavior. Now let that behavior with him. Okay, and that peddler, what he wanted only, he wanted to warm himself and sleep that night. In those days, the Ramsey iron mill. Okay, and after that, once again, the description of that mill. The name of that mill was Ramsey Iron Mill, was owned by a very prominent iron master. Okay, that mill was owned by very prominent iron master, owner of that mill, whose greatest ambition was to ship out good iron to the market. What was his ambition? He wanted to give the best production from his mill to sell in the market. This was his ambition. He watched both night and day to see that the work was done as well as possible. That's why during daytime and during night time he used to come to observe and see whether the work was going on properly or not. Okay, and at this very moment he came into the force on one of his nightly rounds of inspections. Okay, so that very moment the owner of that mill came of his nightly rounds of inspection, okay, to observe whether the work was going on or not. Naturally, the first thing he saw was the tall ragamuffin, who had seized his way so close to the furnace that steam rose from his wet rags. Okay, so what was when that owner came there? He first of all found and saw that tall ragamuffin. Ragamuffin means who was in very tattered and bad clothes. Okay, and who was very close to the furnace, and due to that, because his clothes were wet, that's why steam rose from his wet rags. The ironmaster did not follow the example of the blacksmith, who had hardly designed to look at the stranger. He walked close up to him, okay, but as the blacksmith did, the ironmaster, the owner of that mill, didn't do as the blacksmith did. Okay, that owner bent very close up to him. Up to him whom? That peddler looked him over very carefully, then tore off his slouch hat to get a better view of his face. Okay, and then he put off his slouch hat to get a better view of his face. But of course, it's you, Niels Olof, he said. How you do look? Okay, and by mistake, B people know that he was peddler, he was thief also, he was caught in that forest because he had stolen money, 30 kroner of that old crofter. But here, by mistake, that iron master, he considered him his old acquaintance as Niels Olof. And he says, how you do look? He says, how he looks. The man with the right traps had never before seen the ironmaster at Ramsey and did not even know what his name was. But it occurred to him that if the fine gentleman thought he was an old acquaintance, he might perhaps throw him a couple of kroner. Therefore, he did not want to undeceive him all at once. Okay, now once again, first time he deceived that old crofter who welcomed him, who served food him, but after that he was caught. But suddenly, when he found another place, that mill, to warm himself, he forgot. If that old man, if that now here ironmaster made mistake and he considered him his old acquaintance, then that time he should have revealed his identity. He should have told him he was not his old acquaintance Niels Olof, but he thought if that old person, that ironmaster considered him an old acquaintance, that he might perhaps throw him a couple of kroner to see his bad condition. Therefore, he did not want to undeceive him all at once. Undeceive him means to say he did not want to reveal his identity at once. Why he didn't do this? Because he thought that iron master might give him some money. Okay? Yes, God knows things have gone downhill with me, he said. Okay. And then what he answered? He said that time was very bad, cruel with him. That's why his condition was like that. Okay. He did not say he was a peddler. What he answered? He said time was not good for him. That's why he was roaming here and there like that. Okay. You should not have resigned from the regiment, said the ironmaster. That was the mistake. If only I had still been in the service at the time, it never would have happened. Well, now of course you will come home with me. Okay. And after that, ironmaster told him that was his mistake. He should have not resigned from the regiment. He thought he was captain. That ironmaster considered him captain of army, and he said that he should not have resigned from the regiment. Okay, now he says, okay, now leave that. well, now of course you will come home with me. He suggested now he should come at his home. To go along up to the manor house and be received by the owner like an old regiment comrade. That, however, did not please the tramp. Okay, he thought that Ironmaster earlier, what he thought, that peddler thought that Ironmaster might give him some kroner, some money, but he offered him to accompany him to his home, and that idea did not please that tramp, that peddler, that homeless. Okay. Okay, friends. Now listen carefully. The next is of this topic, the rat trap. No, I could not think of it, he said, looking quite alarmed. And when the ironmaster offered him to accompany him to his house, that time he did not like that idea. That's why he says, no, I couldn't think of it. He did not want to go with him, he said, looking quite alarmed. That time he was alarmed. Now he was cautious that time. He thought of the 30 kroner. What he thought? He thought of his 30 kroner. To go up to the manor house would be like throwing himself voluntarily into the lion's den. That time he had 30 kroner. He thought if he would go there, he might suffer there. That's why he only wanted a chance to sleep here in the forge and then sneak away as inconsequentially as possible. Okay, and what was his thinking? He wanted to spend that night there, and very early in the morning he wanted to escape from there without any suspicion. Okay, then the ironmaster assumed that he felt embarrassed because of his miserable clothing. Okay, and then that time the ironmaster realized, he thought, he assumed because of his clothing, because of his clothes, that person whom he considered Niels Olof, a captain of a regiment, okay, of army, he thought due to that miserable clothing he was not ready to come that his house. Then what he said, please don't think that I have such a fine home that you cannot show yourself there. He said, Elizabeth is dead. Now who is Elizabeth is here? She is the wife of that ironmaster. As you may already have heard, my boys are abroad. He says the boys of that ironmaster, they are abroad, and there is no one at home except his oldest daughter and myself. Okay, that time at his home, at his house, there is that ironmaster and his oldest daughter. We were just saying that it was too bad we didn't have any company for Christmas. Now come along with me and help us make the Christmas food disappear a little faster. Okay, now as this is the good habit of a person, okay, when we invite someone, that time very politely we invite someone in the same manner that ironmaster did. Okay, and he said they were feeling very bad because during Christmas time there was no other persons, okay, to celebrate Christmas festival. It's clear? Here food disappear a little faster means to say now at Christmas if he comes there they will enjoy the food and items of that Christmas festival. But the stranger said no and again no, and the ironmaster saw that he must give in. Okay, but that peddler, that stranger was saying no, and in the end that ironmaster, he surrendered himself and he said okay. It looks as though Captain Van Staal preferred to stay with you tonight. Sergeant a storm, he said to the master blacksmith and turned on his head. Okay, now here Sergeant Storm is the name of the blacksmith, the master blacksmith, And earlier that ironmaster said to that peddler as Niels Olof. Now the name of that person was Captain von Stahl. Okay, Stahl preferred to stay. He said to that blacksmith, that person, his guest, wanted to stay that night with him there in the forge. Okay, and turned on his heel. Means to say here, now that iron master saying this, he returned back to his home. Okay, but he laughed to himself as he went away, and the blacksmith who knew him understood very well that he had not said his last word. Okay, and that time that blacksmith realized, uh, as every night that ironmaster used to say his last word, that time he did not say. Okay, it was not more than half an hour before they heard the sound of carriage wheels outside the forge, and a new guest came in. But this time it was not the ironmaster. He had sent his daughter, apparently hoping that she would have better powers of persuasion than he himself. Okay, and it was not more than half an hour. Before half an hour, they heard about the sound of carriage wheels outside the forge, and a new guest came in. And this time there was daughter of ironmaster, whom he thought that he hoped that she would have better powers of persuasion to persuade someone to do something. Okay, she entered followed by a valet. Valet means attendant. Okay, personal attendant, carrying on his arm a big fur coat. Okay, now that our master, he saw that rags of that peddler. That's why that lady, that girl, okay, she also brought a big fur coat. She was not at all pretty. Now this is the appearance of that girl. She was not at all pretty. She was not so much beautiful, but seemed modest and quite shy of nature. In the forge, everything was just as it had been earlier in the evening. The master blacksmith and his apprentice still sat on their bench, and iron and charcoal still glowed in the furnace. Okay, and now description of that meal. Both blacksmith and his helper, they were doing the same work as they were doing earlier. Okay, that very moment that girl, daughter of that ironmaster, reached there. Okay, and that time the stranger, he had he was sleeping there. Okay, when that girl came and she found that stranger, he had stretched himself out on the floor and lay with a piece of pig iron under his head. Pig iron means not pure iron, under his head, and his head pulled down over his eyes. As soon as the young girl caught sight of him, she went up and lifted his head. Okay, and when that young girl, she found where that stranger was. Okay, she went up, she came close to him, and she lifted his head. The man was evidently used to sleeping with one eye open. Okay, and in that condition, how could a person take sound sleep? Okay, anyhow, he wanted to spend that night. Okay, and suddenly he jumped up abruptly and seemed to the quite frightened. Okay, and when that girl lifted his head, which was over his face, and suddenly that person jumped up abruptly and seemed to the quite frightened, and he was too much frightened. And then that girl, that lady, she introduced herself. She said, "My name is Edla Wilmanson." What was the name of that girl? Edla Wilmanson. Said the young girl, "My father came home and said that you wanted to sleep here in the forge tonight." And then she informed him why did she come there. Okay, and then I asked permission to come and bring you home to us. Okay, and then that girl informed him her father told him about him, that's why she came there to bring him home with them. I'm so sorry, Captain, that you are having such a hard time. Okay, that girl also said, Captain, because the father of that girl considered him captain of army. Okay, and she felt sorry and sympathy for that person about his condition, which the hard time, the problems which he was facing. Is clear? She looked at him compassionately. That time, very compassionately, she was looking at him with her heavy eyes, and then she noticed that the man was afraid. And after that, that girl noticed that man was afraid. Either he had stolen something or else he had escaped from jail. She realized that he had stolen something or he had escaped from jail. She thought and added quickly, you may be sure, Captain, that you will be allowed to leave us just as surely as you came. And then that girl assured him, don't worry, Captain. Don't worry, Captain. Okay, now don't be confused here. The girl was saying Captain to that peddler because her father by mistake considered him as captain. Okay, and she assured him, don't worry about anything. When he wants to leave that house, he will be allowed to leave. Don't worry about that. Okay, only please stay with us over Christmas Eve. And what request she made? She said, please only stay with them over Christmas Eve. Okay, and after that he can leave as he wants. In this way, in a very good way, she says this. She said this in such a friendly manner that the rat trap peddler must have felt confidence in her. And when she said that thing in a friendly manner, then that peddler must have felt confidence in her. Okay, and then it would never have occurred to me that you would bother with me myself, miss. He said, I will come at once. Okay, and very soon now he was ready to go with her to see the good behavior and the problem what she did there, because during that night time she came for him. Okay, he accepted the fur coat. Okay, and after that he accepted the fur coat which the valet handed him. Valet means attendant, with a deep bow. Okay, threw it over his legs and followed the young lady out to the carriage without granting the astonished blacksmith so much as a glance. Okay, and he also observed that blacksmith was observing him, looking at him. Okay, but while he was riding up to the manor house, he had evil forebodings. Okay, anyhow, to see the good behavior of that girl, he felt confidence in her. But when he was in carriage, that time once again, he had evil forebodings. Okay, forebodings. He was thinking bad things. Why the devil did I take that fellow's money? Okay, now he was thinking, why did he steal that fellow's money? He thought, now I am sitting in the trap and will never get out of it. Okay, once again, anyhow, he got the way from the forest, but second time he was again in the rat trap. Again he was trapped. The next day was Christmas Eve, and when the ironmaster came into the dining room for breakfast, he probably thought with satisfaction of his old regimental comrade whom he had run across so unexpectedly. Okay, and then First of all, we must see to it that he gets a little fresh. Okay, and the next day was Christmas Eve, and when the ironmaster came into the dining room for breakfast, he probably thought with the satisfaction of his old regimental comrade whom he had run across so unexpectedly. That time he was very satisfied because he found accidentally one of his old comrade. Okay, and then both the father and the daughter, they were discussing about the future, and they were making planning for the life of that old comrade. Okay, first of all, we must see to it that he gets a little place. Okay, what they thought? They thought first of all they would provide good food for him so that he could recover from his that bad health. Okay, he said to his daughter who was busy at the table, and then we must see that he gets something else to do than to run around the country selling rattles. Okay, and the second planning was they will arrange some another work for him so that he should not walk here and there, run around the country to sell rat traps. Okay. Dear students, both father and daughter, they were discussing about the bad condition of that old comrade, that captain. Uh, he's saying it is clear that things have gone downhill with him. What is the reason? That's very strange. The things have gone downhill, very bad for him, with him, as badly as that, said the daughter. Okay, now here the daughter says, what was the reason? He was facing very hard times. Last night, I didn't think there was anything about him to show that he had once been an educated man. Okay, now the girl was surprised at the behavior of that peddler, of that person whom they considered captain. That if she thought if he was captain, then she didn't find anything that once he had been an educated man. You must have patience, my little girl. And then the father advised her that she must have patience, said the father. As soon as he gets clean and dressed up, you will see something different. And then he says, when as soon as he gets clean and dressed up, she will see something different. Last night he was naturally embarrassed. The tramp manners will fall away from him with the tramp clothes. He says that the tramp manners, the bad manner, as he was acting like a illiterate person, when that will fall away from him with the tramp clothes. Okay, when he will put off his tramp clothes, his tramp behavior will be gone. Okay, and when he will put on good clothes, his good behavior will come soon. She will see that. Just as he said this, the door opened and the stranger entered. And just as he said this, that very moment the door opened and the stranger entered. Yes, now he was truly clean and well dressed. Moreover, he was dressed in a good-looking suit of clothes which belonged to the ironmaster. He wore a white shirt and a starched collar and whole shoes. Okay, now when he came there, when that stranger came there, he was well dressed. Okay, but although his guest was now so well groomed, the ironmaster did not seem pleased. But now the guest, that peddler, whom they considered captain, he was so well groomed, so well dressed, but here the ironmaster did not seem pleased. Now he was not happy. The owner of that house, that iron mill, he looked at him with puckered brow. Now puckered brow. Okay. Now he became angry. In anger, when we do our brow in that manner. Okay. And it was easy to understand that when he had seen a strange fellow in the uncertain reflection from the furnace, he might have made a mistake. But that now, when he stood there in broad daylight, it was impossible to mistake him for an old acquaintance. Okay, but next day, early in the morning, he recognized that person was not his old acquaintance. Now there was no mistake. In the night, he had made a mistake, but now during broad daylight, during daytime, now there was no chance of mistake and he recognized that he was not acquaintance. It's clear? What does this mean? He thundered. Okay, now listen. He was kind, good fellow, but suddenly he loses his tempers. He says, "What is this?" The stranger made no attempt to dissimulate. He saw at once that the splendor had come to an end. Okay, and very soon the stranger did not try to disclose his identity. He realized at once that the splendor which very soon he had put on had gone, had come to an end. "It is not my fault, sir," he said. "I never pretended to be anything but a poor trader." Okay, after that, that peddler began to justify. He said that was not his mistake, sir. That was not his fault, sir. He never pretended to be anything but a poor trader. He always said himself, and he was only a poor trader. And I pleaded and begged to be allowed to stay in the forge, but no harm has been done. At worst, I can put on my rags again and go away. Okay, he says he was begging in the night, allow him to only stay there in the forge, but they didn't listen him. Now he says, at worst, and now, sir, nothing, no harm has been done. He has done no harm there. At worst, I can put on my rags again and go away. He says he was very sad that time. That peddler, that person, very soon as he put on good clothes, well dressed, but very soon he was saying, now again he can put on his rags again and go away. Well, said the iron master, hesitating a little, it was not quite honest either. You must admit that, and I should not be surprised if the sheriff would like to have something to say in the matter. And now here the iron master was so angry, he said what he was saying this time he should have said in the night also, but he didn't say that. That's why he could call police also. Sheriff means police. The tramp took a step forward and struck the table with his fist. Okay, and when he heard this, okay, the tramp took a step forward and struck the table with his fist. Okay, now I'm going to tell you, sir, Mr. Ironmaster, how things are. He said, this whole world is nothing but a big rat trap. Okay, after that, that peddler, that tramp, he took a step forward and he struck the table with his fist. And he says, now he is going to tell him, Mr. Ironmaster, what are the things, how things are. He said, the whole world is nothing but a big rat trap. All the good things that are offered to you are nothing but cheese, rinds, and bits of pork set out to drag a poor fellow like him. He says, Mr. Ironmaster, the things, how the things are, the things that are offered to you are nothing but cheese and rinds and bits of pork set out of drag to a poor fellow like him. Now he was comparing the world as he earlier thought about this world. Okay. He says that the things like fellow person like him into trouble, and if the sheriff comes now and locks me up for this, then you, Mr. Ironmaster, must remember that a day may come when you yourself may want to get a big piece of pork, and then you will get caught in the trap. Okay, and after that he says, Mr. Ironmaster, if the police comes and he locks him up for this time, now remember the day will come for him also when he will desire for big piece of pork. What is here? If when he will desire a big amount of money or any other thing, he might be caught in the trap. Okay, don't be confused here. Piece of pork here that refers if that ironmaster desires for big amount of money, that time he might caught in the trap, as the condition was of that peddler. Okay, he thought he would get some kroner because they thought him captain, and anyhow he came there, but now he is going to call police, and if police if police locks him, and he will be in the jail, and as that money was paid for him, cheese rents for him, and now he was trapped, the same condition he will face one day. Okay, hearing this, the ironmaster began to laugh, and when the ironmaster heard the saying statements of that peddler, the ironmaster began to laugh. That was not so badly said, my good fellow. Perhaps we should let the sheriff alone on Christmas Eve, but now get out of here as fast as you can. Okay, and hearing this, that ironmaster became happy, and he says, okay, now leave the police to enjoy that Christmas Eve, but now get out of there as fast as he can. But just as the man was opening the door, the daughter said, I think he ought to stay with us today. I don't want him to go. And with that she went and closed the door. But the girl was there. The ironmaster said, get out from there as fast as you can. But the girl says she doesn't want that. She wants him to stay there. And with that she went and closed the door. She says she doesn't want him to go. She says she thinks he ought to stay with them that day. And saying this, she went and closed the door. What in the world are you doing? Said the father. The daughter stood there quite embarrassed and hardly knew what to answer. That morning she had felt so happy when she thought how homelike and Christmassy she was going to make things for the poor hungry wretch. She would not get away from the idea all at once, and that was why she had interceded for the vagabond. Okay, in the morning she was very happy because earlier she thought there was none other than herself and her father, but she found a poor hungry wretch, very poor person, and she wanted to enjoy that Christmas Eve with him. She wanted to serve food him, she wanted to treat him properly. That's why she did not want to let that idea go. That's why she interceded for the vagabond. That's why she interfered in the decision of her father. For that homeless, that peddler. I'm thinking, and then see what she answered. She answered, I'm thinking of this stranger here, said the young girl. He walks and walks the whole year long, and there is probably not a single place in the whole country where he is welcome and can feel at home. Now the girl says, the peddler was there. Very politely the girl says, Father, he walks. For that person she says, That person walks and walks the whole year long, and there is probably not a single place in the whole country where he is welcome and can feel at home. There is no place for him where he can feel comfortable, where he can stay properly. Wherever he returns, he is chased away. She says, wherever he turns, wherever he goes, from there people chase him away. Always he is afraid of being arrested and cross-examined. Always, always that person, he is afraid of being arrested and cross-examination. I should like to have him enjoy a day of peace with us there. She says what she wants. She wants that person should stay there at least for one day to enjoy that Christmas Eve peacefully with them. Just one in the whole year. The girl says, just a single day in the whole year. This was the request of that girl. This was the saying of that girl. The iron master mumbled something in his beard, okay, and he could not bring himself to oppose her, because whatever the girl said, that was good, and that's why the father could not oppose her daughter. It was all a mistake, of course, as she continued, but anyway, I don't think we ought to chase away a human being whom we have asked to come here and to whom we have promised Christmas cheer. Okay, and the girl says, okay, it was all a mistake, of course, and she continued, but anyway, I don't think, she doesn't think we ought to chase away a human being whom they have asked to come there, whom they have invited. How could they chase that person whom they themselves invited and to whom we have promised Christmas cheer? How could they chase him away from there? Okay, then the father says, you do preach worse than a person. The person means who is in church. Said the priest like, said the master, I only hope you won't have to regret this. Okay. The father says, she is preaching worse than a person. Okay, the person in Hindi we say padri like, okay, or the priest in the church, and he only says he only hopes she would not have to regret about her decision. The young girl took the stranger by the hand and led him up to the table. Now sit down and eat, she said, for she could see that her father had given in. Okay, and when she realized that her father allowed her, then she welcomed him and she led him to the table and she offered food and other things. The man with the red tape said not a word, and that time that person did not say a single word. He only sat down and helped himself to the food. He only ate the food time after time. Okay, dear friends, that peddler did not say, only he looked at the young girl who had interceded for him. Why had she done? He was amazed. What the reason? Why had she done it? What could the crazy idea be? After that Christmas Eve at Ramseo passed just as it always had. The stranger did not cause any trouble because he did nothing but sleep. And the Christmas Eve at Ramseo passed just as it always had. The stranger did not cause any trouble for them because he did nothing, only sleep. The whole forenoon he lay on the sofa in one of the guest rooms. Okay, during afternoon he was only sleeping and slept at one stress. At noon they woke him up. At noon once again they woke him up so that he could have his share of the good Christmas Eve fare. But after that he slept again. But once again he slept again. It seemed as though for many years he had not been able to sleep as quietly and safely as here at Ramseo. As that appeared, for the first in his whole life, he slept there quietly and safely for the first time in his whole life at Ramseo. Okay. In the evening, when the Christmas tree was lighted, they woke him up again, and he stood for a while in the drawing room, blinking as though the candlelight hurt him. But after that, he disappeared again. Once again, he left that place and went to sleep. 2 hours later, he was aroused once more. After 2 hours, once again he was aroused. He then had to go down into the dining room and eat the Christmas feast and porridge. And after that, at that time, he had Christmas feast and porridge. As soon as they got up from the table, he went around to each one present and said thank you and good night. Okay. And after finishing the dinner, fish and porridge, he when they got up from the table, that peddler went around to each one present and said thank you and good night. He said thank you and good night to everyone. But when he came to the young girl, she gave him to understand that it was her father's intention that the suit which he wore was to be a Christmas present. And when he reached near to that girl, she made him understand the suit which he was wearing, that was Christmas present for him. That's why he should have not to return that suit which he was wearing. Okay. And she also informed him if he wants to spend the next Christmas festival and take a sound sleep there, he can come back. He will be welcome there once again. Okay. And this was the promise made by that girl, and she also assured him there will be no problem for him. The man with the rat traps did not answer anything to this, but that person did not answer. Hearing this, he only stared at the young girl in boundless amazement. Only he was staring at that young girl. He was amazed. The next morning, the ironmaster and his daughter got up in good season to go to the early Christmas service. Next morning, early in the morning, both woke up. They wanted to go church for Christmas service. Okay. And that time their guest, that peddler, was still asleep. That's why they did not disturb him. They did not disturb him. Okay. But when at about 10 o'clock they drove back from the church, the young girl sat and hung her head even more dejectedly. But when they returned at about 10 o'clock, that time the girl was very sad. Okay, so when they returned from the church, that time the girl was very sad. She was very dejectedly than usual. At church, she had learned that one of the old crofters of the ironworks had been robbed by a man who went around selling ragtubs. Now, at the church, they heard about the robbery which occurred. One of the old crofters of the ironworks, okay, and he had been robbed by a man who went around selling rat traps. Now she realized what mistake she made, and when she was interceded, when she interfered in the decision of her father, that time her father said he hopes she might not regret, but the same happened. That's why she was very sad. And here her father was scolding her. Yes, that was a fine fellow you let into the house, said her father. I only wonder how many silver spoons are left in the cupboard by this time. Now he was thinking how many silver spoons means to say there might be robbery at his home. And he was scolding her. Oh, that she allowed a fine fellow. She allowed him into the house. The wagon had hardly stopped at the front steps when the ironmaster, the carriage of that ironmaster had hardly stopped at the when the ironmaster asked the valet means attendant, whether the stranger was still there. He added that he had heard at church that the man was a thief. Okay, the ironmaster asked the valet about the stranger, and he did not wait for the answer from the gatekeeper or valet, and then the ironmaster added that he had heard at church that the man was a thief. The valet answered that the fellow had gone and that he had not taken anything with him at all. And then that valet, that attendant replied that man had gone, but he had not taken anything with him at all. On the contrary, he had left behind a little package which Miss Williamson was to be kind enough to accept as a Christmas present, and that valet informed him. Instead, he had left a package which Miss Williamson was to be kind enough to accept as a Christmas present. Okay, means to say he had not taken anything, but instead of that, he had left a package that was a Christmas present for Miss Williamson, for the daughter of ironmaster. The young girl opened the package, which was so badly done up that the contents came into view at once. Okay, and when that girl opened the package, the content came into view at once because that was done very badly. She gave a little cry of joy, and when the girl opened the package, she was very happy. She gave a little cry of joy. She found a small rat trap, and in it lay 3 wrinkled 10 kroner notes. Okay, and in that package there was 3 wrinkled 10 kroner notes, and there was a small rat trap. Okay, but that was not all. In the rat trap lay also a letter written in large jagged characters. Okay, and there was a small rat trap and 3 10 kroner notes, and there was a letter also. What was written in that letter? Listen carefully. Honored and noble Miss, since you have been so nice to me all day long, as if I was a captain, I want to be nice to you. Okay, in that letter, he had written, as she considered him as a captain and she was very nice to him all day long, so he did not want to disappoint her in return. Okay, as if I was a real captain, for I don't want you to be embarrassed at this Christmas season by a thief. Okay, she treated him as a captain. That's why he did not want to disappoint her, to think him as a thief. It's clear? But you can give back the money to the old man on the roadside. Okay, and he informed she can give that money back to the old man who on the roadside, who has the money pouch hanging on the window frame as a bait for poor wanderers. Okay, who keeps the money pouch hanging on the window frame as a bait for poor wanderers. Okay, the rat trap is a Christmas present from a rat who would have been caught in this world's rat trap if he had not been raised to captain. Okay, and he says the rat trap is a Christmas present from a rat. He says himself a rat who would have been caught in this world's rat trap if he had not been raised to captain. If she if she had not treated him as a captain, he would have a rat and he would caught in the world's rat trap. Because in that way he got power to clear himself, and because due to good treatment, nice treatment, loving treatment, affectionate treatment of that girl, which changed his thinking and behavior. Okay, and now means to say here, because in that way he got power to clear himself, means to say here, now he will leave all his bad doings and he will be a good man. Now in the at the end of the letter this was written with friendship and high regard, Captain von Stahel. Okay, here this writing, this refers now he was going to be a good person. Why? Because the kindness, love, affection of that girl totally changed that person. Okay, dear friends, as you have already informed about the theme of this topic, good deeds of human being can be awakened with understanding and love. Now, when we see the role of Edla, how she treated that peddler who was thief, okay, but in the last he left his stolen money and he also gave a present to that girl and he signed as Captain von Stahel, means to say as they treated him he would be in future now. He would leave all his bad doings, bad past, he will be a good person. It's clear? Now I hope this lesson would be clear to you. Friends, here you will get word meanings. You can take help from here. Okay. These are also word meanings. If you want, you can take help from there. It's clear. We have exercise. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Total 10 questions. Write the answers of these questions in your notebook. It's clear? Dear friends, I hope this audio lesson will help you. If any doubt, you are welcome to ask anytime. It's clear? Thank you everyone.